Hello. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this afternoon for Mike. I was so proud and honored when Mike called me and asked me if I'd introduce him. And then it wasn't long after that that his campaign people called me and said, well, you don't get to introduce him, but we'll let you introduce the person who's going to introduce him. So we have a special guest for that. So I didn't get to write my speech and tell all of y'all that I taught Mike everything he knows and everything.
This is my brother.
But I'm just as honored to introduce this person. My niece, Mike's daughter, live from Iran, Shelby Moore. Hey! Hi, Shelby.
Hello. Hi, Dad. I miss you.
It's 7 hours ahead in Iraq.
Hi, everyone. I can't see you, so I don't know who I'm talking to. But for those
You're
of you
talking
that
to about
don't know,
200 of my closest friends here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shelby. Tonight, I'm calling from Kurdistan, Iraq, where I teach first grade. 4 years ago, I had the honor of introducing my father at his campaign kickoff. And thanks to my dad's awesome team, I get to do the same thing tonight. I grew up privileged to live in Jeffersonville, Indiana. That is something my dad never, ever let me forget. My life is filled with constant reminders of how wonderful our hometown is. My dad always said it with the enthusiasm that he is known for. It is impossible to not love Jeffersonville when you are around Mike Moore. I have always been so proud of my dad. From when I was as little as I can remember to now, everything he did and does is the coolest. I knew I wanted to be just like him when I grew up. You hear that when children grow and move away, they find new heroes and role models. Granted, moving to the Middle East is not anything my dad would ever like to do. But my dad is insistent that when you want something, you make it happen, which makes me still feel like I'm following in my dad's footsteps. My dad is still trying to understand my desire to live in Kurdistan, or why anyone would want to live outside of Jeffersonville. But I know that whatever I do, he will not just support, but encourage me. You would think I still lived at home with how often we talk, and he reminds me of that. My dad does not just live this way at home. He lives the same at work as well. He treats Jeffersonville and its people the same as he treats my brother, sister, and I. My dad does not think of Jeffersonville as a job or a place to raise a family even. Jeffersonville is family. It is a city that brings him a lot of joy and sometimes heartache, because that man pours his heart into everything he does. He has no understanding of work-life balance. When something goes wrong in the city or something he is passionate about does not work, it hurts him. But because of his strong values and his refusal to accept failure, he and his team work diligently for every success they pour in. Some can call him stubborn, and they would be right. One example I am especially proud of my dad for is Jeffersonville Promise. While my dad has served Jeffersonville, this city has grown and it has prospered. But as a recent college graduate myself, I believe wholeheartedly Jeffersonville's Promise is the very best thing he has done as our mayor. It supports our people, our workforce, and both of those support our businesses. And it's fiscally conservative, which my dad never forgets to remind me. When the program faced adversity, or anything he believes in faces adversity, he will do everything in his power to fight for what is best and what he believes is right for us, the city, the people, and our future. He has never been afraid to make things happen. There's not a person I look up to more than my dad, personally or professionally. He is passionate, he is enthusiastic, he is Jeffersonville's biggest fan, and he is my dad. Thank you, everyone, for letting me be a part of the community from so far away tonight. Thank you, Dad, for being a wonderful role model for Allie, Garen, Clinton, and I love you. I'm always cheering you on. Here's to the man of the night. 4 more years. Let's make it happen.
Well, that was a surprise. You all got one over on me. I was not expecting that. I was a little shocked because I've got a son back here that's supposed to be at Bloomington right now going to college, and he surprised me as well. I didn't bring pudding today, and some of you all may be a little disappointed, but I knew with all the food here, we'd probably have a problem with pudding and the food. So my sister Mary come in last night from Florida. She brought Mom, and of course, that was my brother Chuck that spoke earlier. It was funny. Growing up, I was always Chuck's little brother. I didn't have a name. I was just Chuck's little brother. And in the early years, Chuck had a speech impediment. And when people would ask him his name, he couldn't say Chuck. He'd say Duck. My name's Duck. So he was Duck. I was Little Duck. Yep. I can't imagine life without my big brother, my whole family. 4 years ago, on election night, a moment I will have forever. It made the front page of the News and Tribune. My dad and I hugging each other in celebration. We lost Dad a couple of years ago, but I still talk to him every day. And it's a lot of the things Mom and Dad taught me as a kid growing up in Oak Park that have stayed with me, that have carried me into this job. 30 years in the restaurant business, you could not ask for a better training to fill the spot that I'm in right now and fortunate enough to have as your mayor. Jerry's Restaurant was truly a family restaurant. We still get to see a lot of the people that we worked with for years and years. They're still around. They're still very good friends. Jerry's Restaurant was more than a place to get food. This was a place that raised me and taught me right from wrong. Let me talk a little bit about when I came in 8 years ago when I first ran for mayor. There was one man that I needed the permission of to run for mayor, and that was my dad, Charlie Moore. And Dad always said, "Stay out of politics." You know, there's all kinds of people that get into politics, and you don't need any part of that. And you know, it's funny because I've seen the good, I've seen a few bad, but 10th Street was probably the overwhelming issue of why I decided to run for mayor. The neglect of our most traveled road. It got to a point where I said, I can't sit back and watch anymore. And anytime you undertake a job like this, you know you've got 4 years to go in and tackle problems and try and get them done. And there's no doubt in my mind I've made some people mad. I hear it every day. You know, when you make decisions, you can't make everybody happy. But I look at what we've accomplished since we came into office. We had a riverfront and a dock system that was in terrible shape. It was an embarrassment. It was not something you would ever want to take a visitor and go show. And I look at Fisherman's Wharf now with the whole new marina, and it's one of the prettiest sites in the city of Jeffersonville. Hamburg Pike, people may forget, but it was early in our term when we first came in. A neglected road that needed attention. We got that project finished. I look at Veterans Parkway. It was a lot of vacant land. Yeah, you look over there now, we've got new restaurants, we've got Menards, we've got Southeast Christian Church, and we've got some big stores. Actually, if you haven't been out there in the last month or two, there's 3 big new stores coming out there. And here in the coming weeks, we'll probably be announcing those names. But everything and everywhere we looked, something needed attention. And we ran through the first 4 years, and we got some of those things done, but there was still a whole lot more to accomplish. And we got in the second term, and we dove straight into 10th Street. And I know people want to see that project done. I promise you, nobody wants to see that done more than me. I've got several of my engineering firms in here that have become friends. They've helped us accomplish a whole lot. But the 10th Street project, we're within 2 months of having that completed. So 2.5 months. Give me that extra half month. But you'll see the orange cones disappearing from there in June. So we're looking good there. Holman's Lane, Veterans Parkway, another big project that was ignored forever. I think I now know why the mayors before me didn't want to tackle these projects. These bags underneath my eyes, the receding hairlines. I tell you, there's a lot of good that comes with this job, but you better have some thick skin because people get angry, and when they get angry, they let you know. But it was worth it. You know, I came in and I said, give me 4 years and we're going to get everything done we can. We did that. We ran again. I asked for another 4 years. We're completing a whole lot of projects. By the end of this year, people are going to say, you know, where do we go from here? Well, we've got more to do. We've got a whole lot more to do. We lost Jeff Boat as an employer, but it opened the door for a whole lot of new opportunities. So we are pursuing the 65 acres along the Ohio River of Jeff Boat, and that's what you're going to see a lot of my attention put into in the third term if I'm fortunate enough to get it. But I look around this room and I see a whole lot of people who do the main part of all of the work that you're all enjoying. The department heads and the city employees of Jeffersonville, you've got an incredible team working for you. And it's not like the old Jeffersonville. You don't get a job because you're somebody's nephew. You don't get a job because you're somebody's grandson. We expect everybody to come to work. We expect you to give everything you got, and they've done it. And that's why everything is looking so good. But I look out here and I know I've spotted a few of my city council members. I'm sorry if I didn't catch y'all, but I did see Ron Ellis. Ron is a council person at large. Scott Hawkins, he is running council at large. Bill Burns, he is running in the 2nd district. Joe Paris, Joe, where you at, Joe? Joe is running, Joe is at the 3rd district? 3rd district. I'm sorry, is there anybody that I missed that is a candidate? Steve Webb. And I got Steve Webb running in the 6th district, and I got Jeremy Snelling running at large. Folks, I can tell you right now, I've had 2 terms, and I had the first term where it was not a good marriage with the city council. And I hate to say it, but that's politics. And, you know, you're going to work with who gets elected. The first term was a little tough. We still got some things done. The second term has been enormous. That's why everything is shining in the city of Jeffersonville. It's no accident that the news channels and the newspapers, they're always over here in the city of Jeff, because this is where it's happening. This is where everything is going. We've created 7,000 new jobs in the last 7+ years. We've had over 5,000 new jobs created in the last 7+ years. That doesn't happen when people don't have hope. And I think that's what I love about this job more than anything, is I get to come to work every day and there's smiles on faces, there's hope in the air, and that's where I need your help. It's going to be a tough election, and everybody in this room, I need committed to this election. Now, the May election is, you know, we're unopposed, so probably going to be a little more quiet than what you may normally see in the spring elections. But the fall election is very, very serious. And we've got an opportunity to finish a lot of projects and to create some new things and get some things done. My daughter touched on Jeffersonville's promise. Folks, this is a very unique and enormous opportunity for everybody in the city of Jeffersonville, whether you're an adult, grandparent, or you're an employer, or you're a little kid. When your city believes in you enough that we are willing to commit a free college education to anybody that wants to go to college and will go to Ivy Tech, you can come out with a 2-year college degree. We need those employees. That's why it's important for the city. It's important for the families because they need to know that their city cares about them. Jeffersonville's promise is a very unique opportunity, and I think you're going to see more cities across the state of Indiana, Kentucky, and other places start to adopt it. It's clearly put us at the top of everybody's charts when they're looking for a place to relocate their family or relocate their business, or for the businesses and families that are already here. I want to help everybody. Give me the opportunity. This is going to be a campaign of hope. This is going to be a campaign of dreams. And this is going to be a campaign that you're proud to be a part of. Can I? I'm willing to make that commitment for 4 more years. Will you make it with me? This is the start, but come election time, I need everybody to get involved. Don't take anything for granted. Lazy people who end up having regrets are the ones that think back and say, I should have done this. I should have done that. This job has given me so many opportunities and has blessed me in so many ways. It is fun to walk through Kroger and do my shopping because there are so many people that come up and want to pat you on the back and want to thank you. People love what's going on in the city of Jeffersonville. Don't ever take that for granted. Thank you all for coming out. I'm going to be around here if anybody has any questions. There's food here, but for everybody that's played a role in this, thank you very much. Christy, Les, Amy, Bruce, Eric, Sean, Chief Kavanaugh, Scott McVoy. Folks, you mean the world to me. I think I see Lisa Gill, are you back there? Steve Gill. I've got Lisa Gill running for city clerk. Steve Gill is running for council. Is it number 4? 5. I need your help, but everybody in this room that is running for office has been part of our team. They need your help as well. Thanks everybody for coming out.
Well, I was born in a small town and I live in a small town. Happy died in a small town, oh, small communities. All my friends are small town. My parents live in the same small town.